It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Cause it's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold said so.
And so, goodbye. And good night. Bang!
Settle! Because I'm better than you, and you know it. Yes, sir, what the Rock is cooking.
Now welcome to Off the Mats with Alex Lowe's and Josh Silverberg.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the only wrestling talk show here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Welcome to Off the Mat. I'm Alex Lowe's down in sunny Florida. With me up north, with me on the other screen is Lyle Gillen up north. How's it going, Lyle?
Nothing much, man. Really excited to have a great show with you tonight, or today.
Definitely. It's going to be a great one. Stick of us here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, ladies and gentlemen. But before we get started, we have to do our housekeeping, and that is tell the fans where they can get in touch with us and follow us on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. So how you can follow us is follow the show at Off the Mat WWSRN, and also don't forget to follow us personally on our personal Twitters at Show Slows, Lyle OTM, and Josh Silverberg. And also follow the Worldwide Sports Radio Network on Twitter and Facebook, and make sure to follow our Facebook page. Also, please download the Worldwide Sports Radio Network app. It's absolutely free. You can get access to all of our show articles, our blogs, all the shows that we have on the network, because it's not just wrestling here. It's more than that. We have a lot of different variety of shows. There's Down to the Wire with Speedy and Errol Marks. There's Below the Mic. There's the Weekend Crunch with Josh Silverberg and Errol Marks. There's the Sports Hit List. There's Weapons Hot, and so much more. So you definitely want to check out those shows on the app. There are also ways that you can connect with our show, and that is to follow the networks, follow all the networks' social media. Also, I just created a website for the page. That is called offthematwwsrn.com. You can check out check out all of our different stuff on there. We have the shows page, different variety of stuff, so I highly recommend checking that out. So Lyle, we were supposed to have Josh on. He's currently having trouble with his Wi-Fi, so hopefully he'll be able to join in soon. And we were supposed to have a special guest. That was Ring of Honor's Shane Taylor, but unfortunately he hasn't showed up. So let's just bounce into the NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day results. So we had, the first match was pretty interesting. We had Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez take on Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart of the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Finals. I thought that match was okay. There was a lot of back and forth. There was a lot of fall-away slams, different one-on-one moves, and we saw that Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart were doing a fantastic job, but they weren't able to stay on Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, and it took a lot of heavy artillery, and unfortunately, Raquel Gonzalez was able to help her team out and pick up the win. And there's Josh.
I'm here.
Hey!
Let's catch up, Josh, on NXT Vengeance Day.
Let's catch me up.
So me and Lyle were I just started talking about Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez in their match against Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart for the Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Final. I thought the match was okay. I figured that there needed to be more back and forth. and there just wasn't much going on in the match. But what I did like seeing was that they were focusing more on Raquel Gonzalez and putting her over in that match and allowing her to take up the victory for her team. And Ember Moon and Gonzalez, they were fantastic in that match as well. There was a lot that they threw in and put into that match. Yeah. Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart, their match was fantastic against Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. And I also did like their entrance, how they kind of had a Valentine's Day theme to it. What were your thoughts on that, Lyle? What did you think of that?
I don't think it was the right match to have open the show. I think they could have done something better. I would have preferred MSK and Grizzled Young Vets would have started the show off to a much better it would have started the show off better. I personally thought the match was okay. When I first watched it, I liked it, and then as it went on, and as the days passed, I just thought it could have been way better. I think
I believe that wasn't
It wasn't the best match.
It wasn't the best match to start out with. It could have started out with what you said, MSK, Grizzled Young Veterans, or even a North American Championship match.
Well, that's what Triple H likes to do with his takeovers. He likes to start off with a tag team match. Does it every time.
Always does.
And
that.
I think it would have done a better service to the card having the bigger tag team match start off than the women's match.
So for me, I felt the match was very solid. I understand what Lyle's saying in regards to you could have had the other tag team match open it up, but to me, I thought the match was fine opening up the show. I thought it was really good. First off, I think Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez are a really good dynamic duo together.
Yeah, they really are. They're fantastic.
Think they really are awesome. When you kind of get the vibe, I mean, you've seen comparisons. People are saying Shawn Michaels and Diesel when you get that kind of vibe of it, where Dakota's like Shawn Michaels and Raquel is so big, she's like Diesel. So when you kind of look at that duo together, I think it's awesome. And I like the back and forth banter with Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax this past week. I thought it was really good. I thought it was interesting. Dakota's really coming out of her shell with her character.
Yeah, she really is.
As a heel, she's a natural heel, and it's really good. And I think they're building Raquel to be the next kind of strong superstar in the women's division. Of course, they if you heard, WWE NXT, they just signed John Morrison's wife the last was it 2 weeks ago, which was a big get. We knew she would probably go there, but regardless, it's still a very big get for them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
it is a huge
very
get.
talented.
Yeah.
Amazingly talented, and I was a big fan of hers in Impact.
However, I'm a little confused because they had the NXT Evolve show announced, and she was on the poster. That is a show that's going to be essentially a developmental program for the developmental program.
Well, she might just be. I mean, look, she might maybe be a guest on the show and maybe have an opponent might just do a one-time appearance kind of thing. Which because she draws. I mean, she draws.
Yeah.
Especially for the women's division. She draws, so to get people to want to tune in and watch the show, maybe she has her debut on that show. Just to have people tune in and watch it. And that's what you want to get, right? You want to get eyes to watch the product.
Exactly.
And to do that, you need to have some people on a certain poster to really get people to want to tune in and watch it. That could be why I understand what you're saying. It's interesting. Listen, she's not going to Evolve. She's going to NXT.
Mm-hmm.
That's no, she is. It's a foregone conclusion. She
was on the poster.
Yeah, I get. But see, you're missing what I'm saying with regards to why she was on the poster. She was on the poster.
Why would she be on the poster if she's not going to be featured on the show?
Because it's going to be a one-off appearance. Because look, there was also. No, I can tell you this. Look, Aleister Black was on the NXT UK poster. Was on an NXT UK poster at one point, and he fought Pac at the time. And it was a one-off thing. It happens because it draws eyes to want to watch the show.
Exactly.
That's what you want to get. You want to get viewership, is it not?
Well, there's going to be a show on.
Hey, network. Josh. What?
Yes, and that's the point. And that's the point. You want people to watch it and tune in and check it out.
So, what did you all think about Johnny Gargano versus Kishida for the North American Championship? That match I thought was phenomenal.
Amazing.
It was an amazing match.
Yep.
Amazing match. I thought
the
wrong person won, but it was an amazing match. Kushida showed why he's special.
Yeah, he really did. He put on his best performance.
I think in due time he will get a championship opportunity. Maybe they see bigger things with him than the NXT North American Championship. Maybe they see the NXT Heavyweight Championship. But look, let's be realistic here. Johnny Gargano is a popular figure in NXT. He still is. The merchandise sales show it. His popularity shows it. He's still drawing. I mean, he's Johnny Wrestling. He's Mr. NXT. He's essentially Mr. NXT. He is the Shawn Michaels of NXT.
Exactly.
That's essentially what
that's
he
what they're
is.
trying to bill him as.
That's exactly it. And that's why you
They've
will
compared
never...
it to him. They've compared him multiple times to Shawn Michaels on the show.
Shawn
They said
works
he's
closely.
Johnny Takeover.
I thought...
And then they compared him like how Shawn Michaels is Mr. WrestleMania. They said that before. And I don't know if they're trying to do it or it just happened, but
Well, really
it's definitely what they're trying to do.
Before Alex goes, there's two guys specifically that Shawn Michaels directly works with very closely in NXT. That's Adam Cole and that's Johnny Gargano. Those are two guys he has worked with very, very closely that he has made kind of his students. And you can see Johnny Gargano. I don't think should ever be on the main roster. I think he's just fine in NXT.
Yeah, I agree. He's perfect where he is.
There's certain guys that belong in just NXT. Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa. There are certain guys that just need to stick in NXT. You can
I
make
disagree
the case
with
for
that a
Adam
little bit.
Cole.
I think Adam Cole and how over he is someone the main roster really needs.
I understand, but the problem is the young fans and the kids won't understand his character.
Yeah, they
never
won't
saw him.
connect to
They
his
won't
character
understand the
very well.
character.
They won't
That's
understand
the problem.
it.
That's why the NXT fans understand
I disagree.
it.
You said it before on Takedown Breakdown that the kids loved Adam Cole. I don't think they need to understand. They've got to understand Bay. That's all they have to understand.
But you see, that's the thing, though. Will Vince change his character up?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think so. If he's over, he won't.
So was Keith Lee. Keith Lee was completely over, and Vince completely ruined the character. I mean,
Did
dude,
he ruin it because he wanted to, or because of the theme song? He had to change it because he wasn't allowed to.
Actually, me and Josh talked about this months ago when they changed his music theme to
music, the worst.
to generic music that sounds like it came out of SmackDown versus Raw.
It sounds like SmackDown versus Raw. Create a wrestler. I mean,
Yeah.
that's literally what it sounds like. The most generic voice. Dude, he's already on his third theme song since the main roster. His third. They changed his wrestling attire. They changed everything about him. And it's so flimsy and stupid that you see something like this and you say to yourself, and Lyle, you and I have talked about this off the air, and Alex, you and I have talked about this on the air. Keith Lee was a gold mine in NXT.
Yeah, he was.
Dude, his T-shirt came out.
When his Bask in the Glory T-shirt came out.
His first T-shirt came out, and it was the number one shirt on WWE.
Yeah, it was. For a long time.
Champion longer.
I agree with you.
He should have been champion longer and should have held that belt longer. I felt like that was a disservice to him and took away some of his momentum by him losing it so much and going up to the main roster. Also, after he won the belt, I felt like he got exposed as not being the best on the mic and being monotone, especially going up to the main roster. That kind of exposed him a little bit. That promo he had right after the week after he won the title was terrible. He was monotone. I did not like it at all. I feel like that's a big issue in a lot of guys right now in NXT. I thought the same thing about the promo that opened up the show this week on Wednesday. I thought the promo was pretty bad, pretty cringe to watch. Felt forced by both guys, Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly. And
I agree with you on that. I felt very weak.
Yeah, I think that there is I think that he could have been down there for a while. I think he's getting exposed on the main roster. I think that's his big fault. Go back down there and he can just get that big long title reign because they need a face that draws. They really don't have that. Karrion Kross is over, but he's not a face. He's more of a heel.
Yeah, he's more of a heel guy.
He's a tweener.
Can we talk about the Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole stuff? I think it needs to be mentioned.
Yeah, I think it does.
We'll get to that. I think there's a couple other matches we can definitely discuss and dissect.
Yeah,
excuse me. Somebody who's been on the show for a few weeks decided to take over.
Well, we're going to be skipping a couple of good matches.
Excuse me here. I didn't realize somebody took the reins of the show. Okay. You are the last person to take the reins of the show. But okay, we could go back to whatever we were doing. Thank you for turning me off there.
So there was the Women's Championship, the NXT Championship match. That match should have been longer. It felt too short. I like how the match was going with Mercedes Martinez, Io Shirai, and Toni Storm in this triple threat. I thought what they were doing performance-wise was great. Having Io Shirai climb up the pole structure and jump off of it onto Toni Storm and Mercedes Martinez was a cool thing to add to the matchup. And the match was very entertaining. It needed more time. It needed more time to show who was going to win, who was going to walk out the NXT Women's Champion.
How dare she bark like a dog?
Well,
So Lyle, I want to ask you what were your thoughts on this women's triple threat? How did you think Io Shirai performed? And do you think this match needed to be longer? Did you think it needed more time added?
Well, I actually listened to the press conference afterwards with Triple H, and he said that they had all the time in the world. They had up to 25 minutes to go. And he said they thought that that's what they wanted to do. And they had a botch in the match and when the table gave out. And I think that's definitely what caused them to shorten it. I think they would have gone longer, but he said that they had as much time as they wanted to and could have gone how long they wanted to. And I was very disappointed because that's their strength.
Yeah, that is your strength.
Women's division. And that match, I think, was the weakest match of the card.
Yeah, it was.
And I actually predicted that match to be the best match overall, and I was very disappointed.
Disappointed. I think things could have been better. I will say they made the right call with having Martinez be pinned instead of Toni Storm, because now you could have Storm versus Io Shirai.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the whole main goal of the situation. When you look at that, I think it's it was the right call, and it's unfortunate because I like Mercedes Martinez, but I think if you do a Shirai Toni Storm program, it's going to flow really well, and it's going to show the dominance of the women's division. And again, you like I said, you brought in Taya Valkyrie, who you just signed from Impact, so you're adding another element to the women's division. They have a very strong women's division, and it's growing. Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez is a beast on this division now. So it's almost like they're replenishing from what they've lost the last few years.
And they're trying and doing a very good job of it so far. They're trying to add more and develop more to their roster. And I think that's the best direction to go, the best way to go about it for NXT.
No, absolutely.
Well, I've said many times on the show about what NXT's biggest fault, their biggest fault is, and it's a formula that will never really succeed on a professional wrestling show on TV. When you lose your top talent to go to another show every few months, that is not a formula to succeed.
No, it's not.
And they are trying to rebuild, and they had this problem years ago when they had that they lost like 5 or 6 guys in NXT, and they all went to the main roster. I think it was right after Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, and all those guys left, and they had nobody. And it wasn't like the same show. It took them like a year to really get built back up again. And they brought in EC3, they brought in Ricochet, they brought in some more guys, and then they went up and they were fine again because they had Gargano, and then they had Ciampa carrying the reins, they had Adam Cole, and they had the momentum continue going. And now they kind of, who on this show? Besides like Adam Cole and Karrion Kross and the guys who are in the main event and the women really draw you to this product.
Alex, who did we have on the show?
Phil Stamper a couple weeks.
Phil Stamper we had on before you were here, Lyle. We had Phil Stamper on the show a couple weeks ago, and he said the problem was when they got Ricochet and they got EC3. The same thing happened even with Austin Aries when they got Austin Aries and Shinsuke Nakamura came in. It was too many cooks in the kitchen at one time. So therefore, guys weren't getting the build that they should have gotten because, okay, Austin Aries was one of the better wrestlers in the world at the time. The problem was Shinsuke Nakamura became, Shinsuke Nakamura was as over as anybody. So it's almost like NXT went huge. And the same thing happened with EC3. They signed EC3. Then the problem was Ricochet too.
Mm-hmm. And then they just went absolutely nowhere.
You're putting. I understand what they're trying to do. NXT, you also have to remember that was when Velveteen Dream's character started building.
They were hot for
it was too many. There were too many guys at once that they were bringing in at one time, And it was frustrating because, when you see something like that, you think, oh, this guy's getting signed, this woman's getting signed, and this person's getting signed. We see this all the time. AEW should sign this person, and this person, and this person, and NXT should sign this guy, and this guy. But then when you sign all these guys at once, it ruins the whole character of other people.
I have a huge question for you guys. With AEW starting, they pretty much took a giant chunk of the major indie talent who was available in the Elite. And NXT's formula for a while was them signing the big indie talent. They signed Prince Devitt, Kevin Steen, signed Nakamura. They signed the big guys and brought them in, and that's what drove them. Now, who's in Ring of Honor to really be a megastar? No one.
No one.
New Japan, I think they stopped that hole of guys going, their major talent going. I think that's going to be cut off. I think they're going to be signing long-term deals. Jay White, a few years ago, said that he told the Elite that he was signed to a 7-year contract, but he's not going anywhere for a while. So, is that big train, that big momentum train that NXT had for a bunch of years, is it dead? Who do they have to really bring in that's a mega star that you know of and he's going to immediately want you to come in? They don't have that name anymore. They don't have the Prince Evans. They don't have the Kevin Steen. They don't have the El Generico. They don't have the Nakamura anymore. Unless they're getting some over-the-hill guy and unless Tanahashi comes over when he's dead, which I never see happening because he's Tanahashi.
Wow.
But I don't think they have anyone to really build up anymore.
I do have a point to that. There is one guy who's in development. He's training at the Performance Center. He's in developmental right now. His name's Alex Zane. But Alex Zane, I've seen him in a lot of cool matches, even like death matches and destructive matches. But I don't think it's enough. It's not enough for one guy to be able to carry NXT. I think it needs to be more.
Now, Alex Zane he's very good, but he is not Adam Cole.
No, he's not.
He is not El Generico. He is not Kevin Steen. He is not all these major guys that they signed. AEW took all the major guys who were not signed to WWE. Hangman, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Cody, and they put them into their company. That isn't out there anymore.
No, it's not.
It's not. That is what made NXT, that's what made them breathe. That's what made the blood flow through them, is these top guys coming in, and they don't have that. There is nobody in development that's on that level of those guys who can really keep the train going, keep that momentum that they had for years.
I agree with you. I absolutely 100% agree with you. It has to be.
If you look past these guys who they have at the top of their card right now, who do you really care about on that show?
Who, NXT?
There's not one guy after the top guys that they have.
Well,
they're all guys that are like.
I mean, there are guys.
There are guys.
They're talented. They're talented, but who's gonna go? Oh, this guy is on there.
You act like there's nothing. You act like there's nothing.
After the top guys, there is nothing.
Well, you built. That's why you have
top
guys.
That's why you have top guys. You have top guys.
I don't agree with that. I still think there's guys, and there's guys that they're trying to build.
Yeah, there is.
Yes, they have to build them, but they have nobody on there that
Give it
has
time.
That draw power.
Give it time. Give it time.
I don't think they have that right now. They don't have that right now.
You have to be more patient.
Yeah, you have to be patient.
You have to be more patient. I think you have to wait.
They're in a really tough spot.
Well,
that's their problem.
Because we're going to go to break in a few minutes. We do. I want to get to the Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole stuff.
Yeah, 100%. I want to talk about that too.
And people were wondering, was this the right call to break up the Undisputed Era? I will tell you this. For those that never saw this, Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole had one of the biggest rivalries in Ring of Honor. Their rivalry was so big they actually wrestled for the Ring of Honor World Championship at Wrestle Kingdom in one of their matches. Why you look confused, Lyle?
I just had something pop up on my iPad and I was trying to read it because I had my glasses off.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
No, nothing about you.
Okay.
I was like, why is this person contacting me?
Yeah, no, it's but with Ring of their rivalry was so big they wrestled at Wrestle Kingdom for the Ring of Honor World Championship at one point. Yep. This is a big rivalry that's going to set the tone. I mean, obviously you look at it, you think of Randy Orton and Evolution, stuff like that, and this is what it's come to fruition with. And I think it's going to be a great rivalry. This is something that's going to be very special. You can make the case, and I've seen this comparison, this could be like Gargano Ciampa. if not
agree with
better.
that,
Well,
yeah.
if not better, because the difference is these two have actually had a rivalry before in Ring of Honor where they have the chemistry where they can really thrive and make it work and be special. But now the question is, too, where does Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish lie in this whole rivalry? And the unfortunate thing is, I think they've tried to make Red Dragon work in NXT. And I have said this before. They were one of my top tag teams in the world months ago. The problem
I think
is
they still are.
Bobby Fish just cannot stay healthy since he's got to NXT.
can't.
He just can't stay healthy, and it's been a killer, and it's stopped the momentum. And I think at this point, Adam Cole is weird as a face. He's not a face.
I agree.
He's a heel.
Yeah, he is.
He's
a
natural.
He's a cocky guy he's a heel. And that's where he will fit better. And you're 100% correct with that.
Josh,
write that down. Somebody write that down.
I do.
Put that in my journal.
I do have to agree with you on that. I feel like
I'm 2 for 2.
I do.
I
feel.
It's in my journal.
I
today.
feel.
Hey, I'm taking it back. I don't agree anymore.
I feel like with making Adam Cole a heel is much better off than making him a face, because when he's a face, he doesn't have that much connection. He doesn't have that much pull with the fans. And I've kind of seen that. We've seen that a lot in the past couple weeks and months, where they've just mainly focused on him and the Undisputed Era as a group. But now that they're going this direction where they're having Adam Cole turn on the Undisputed Era, I think it's going to beneficially help him out and really also help out Kyle O'Reilly in this angle.
Yeah, it's true. And, you look at it like this. Adam Cole doesn't need to be a face to be cheered for. Adam Cole is Adam
he doesn't.
Cole. There's certain guys that don't need to be faces. If they're natural heels, it's going to flow. It's going to work. Look, Stone Cold Steve Austin has talked about it many times. When he was a heel later on, the fans were still cheering for him when he joined with Vince McMahon. Some certain guy, and they tried to make it work as a heel and for the fans to boo him. They didn't want to boo him. That's what it really comes down to, is you don't need certain guys to really thrive off as a face to make the fans cheer for you. Adam Cole is going to get the T-shirts, the Bebe thing. He's going to get all of that. It doesn't really make a difference. This is more also to help develop Kyle O'Reilly, because Kyle O'Reilly's had some really epic matches with Finn Balor the last few months. And Kyle O'Reilly is we know him as a tag team wrestler. He is an epic singles wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
And that's something that he's
really
really going to show.
Yes.
The
match.
If you see him in PWG,
and that's going to show in this business. Alex, you wanted to say something.
The match he had with Finn Balor, where he broke Finn Balor's jaw. That match.
Which one, Alex?
The one
both
where
were great.
The one at New Year's Evil where he broke his jaw.
Yeah.
That was by far the best match I've seen Kyle O'Reilly compete in against Finn Balor, by far.
And it could go 30 minutes. He could go 20, 30 minutes. Both of those guys can. I mean, you saw Adam Cole. Lyle, you and I were there at TakeOver New York. He could go for – that match was probably about, I would say, 45-minute match with Johnny Gargano. It might have been close to an hour. So Adam Cole he could clearly go. Kyle O'Reilly can clearly go. Mm-hmm. You can draw this out to make it. You could do Iron Man matches. You could do different matches with these two and make it an epic rivalry. Because look, when Triple H turned on Randy Orton back in the Ruthless Aggression era, that was an epic rivalry with the two of them.
Yeah, it was.
And the amazing thing is the rivalry continued all these years later, and it flowed years later. This is something you could do.
Imagine if they were doing the Ciampa Gargano storyline on live TV. The one when every time Ciampa came out, no music, the big FU chant. Imagine if that was on TV. And that was what the crowd was doing every single week. That would have been must-see TV. That would have been amazing.
I mean, I miss Ciampa as a heel, period.
Oh, I loved him as a heel.
Dude, he used to yell at
much I loved him.
He used to yell at Grandma. It was awesome. It was great. It was the best. All right, guys, we're going to go to break. But first of all, I want to apologize to the fans for coming on late. And I also want to apologize to the fans for, we were supposed to have a special guest on today. And, well, listen, you make do what you have, As they say, you make chicken salad, you're trying to make chicken bleep out of chicken salad, you know what I mean?
Also, I apologize for butchering the intro.
Oh, God.
It's all good, man. You found out 10 minutes beforehand that you had to do it. It's all good.
Yeah, Alex, listen, dude, I didn't know if I was going to make it to the show, but I will tell you this. First off, before we go to break, we do want to thank the fans for being with us every Saturday. Going to Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock is going to be so much better for the show. It's going to make the show even more 2 hours. And again, I don't know if Alex explained it. How you download our app and everything like that. You just
Yep, you did.
If you have an Apple.
You have an Apple iPhone, or
you type in, if you have an iPhone, you type in WWSRN. Android, you go to the Google Play Store, you type in Worldwide Sports. And our WorldwideSportsRadio.com is our professionally done website. And Alex, did you mention our brand new website?
Yes, I did.
Off the Mat. Awesome.
Off the Mat, WWSRN.com.
Kudos to you, Alex. Alex completely made that website from scratch.
Yeah, that's a gorgeous website. Go check it out.
Go check it out. It's phenomenal stuff. It's really good. And we're just looking forward to, we are looking forward to moving to Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock starting March the 2nd. Again, we will be off next week. We will not have a show because we will be preparing to go for our brand new time slot. But we do have a guest that is coming on March the 2nd. Correct, Alex?
Yes, we do. And it is MLW's backstage reporter and Ambi owner Alicia too. So you're going to want to tune in for that.
That's awesome. That's a great get for us. She's really good to have. If you see her Twitter page and everything like that, she's really.
Oh yeah, she's really good. She's
so it's good stuff. All right, so when we come back, we're gonna dive into AEW. There's a lot to digest about it with the John Moxie, Kenny Omega, the barbed wire explosion match, whatever it's called. I had on my Twitter page to show you what the match looks like. And it's up. And if you haven't checked out the match, go see it. It's going to be interesting. I'm curious about the concept. And then there was another thing that was talked about. Cody Rhodes had a statement to say. What was it? And which wrestling company did it involve? We'll talk all about that when we come back here on Off the Mat on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Everybody's got a price. Rest in peace.
Welcome back to Off the Mat with Alex Lowe's and Josh Silverberg.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our last Saturday episode of Off the Mat here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, the only wrestling show here on the network. And we had a lot to digest about with NXT the first half. So this half we're going to pretty much it's going to be a lot of AEW. There's a lot to talk about, a lot to digest, a lot to get into. And, of course, we need to start with the obvious, as we heard the announcement of the Kenny Omega, John Moxley, it's a exploding barbed wire death match. So that was the announcement. And for those that follow me on Twitter, I posted a link on YouTube of what the match is going to look like. Pretty much how it goes is this. With the barbed wire, there's going to be like little explosion kind of things, like firecrackery, little things that pop off if you hit the barbed wire. Now, I don't know if AEW is going to do it that way. They might do it a different way. I'm going to get your guys' opinion on it. First off, Lyle, I'll start with you. What is your thoughts on this match? And do you think AEW will do it the same way that the old matches used to look like?
I do. I can't really think of another way they could do it. I think they'll very much do it that same way. Kenny is a wrestler who comes from Japan, and this is something that I think he wants to do. If he's going to do it, he's going to do it that way. I think it would be a disservice to Japanese wrestling, and I don't think Kenny Omega would do that. It's a legendary match in Japan, and I think it'll be the obvious way that we all know this match to be. It's the first time it's ever happening in the United States, and I think it's going to be absolutely insane. Kenny Omega and John Moxley are two guys who I think are perfect for the first time for this to happen in the U.S.
Alex, your thoughts on it?
So I think it's actually a good idea. I'm really excited to see a barbed wire match like this because it's never been done in AEW before. This will be their first time doing it in AEW. They have, however, like Lyle said, they've done it in Japan. They've done it in other promotions. And it's going to be interesting because Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega are two guys that have really changed this industry and balanced this industry out. And it's going to be a physical matchup. It's going to be one of those matches that are not for the faint-hearted. And it's going to be a match where you have to be constantly looking over your shoulder all the time because you got to be aware. And with the barbed wire, the exploding and everything, AEW needs to be cautious with how they do this match because if they're not careful with their performers, they could easily get hurt by a firecracker or something like that. So they just have to be watchful and wary of that.
I agree with you, and I think this is interesting because, ever since Kenny Omega's come over to AEW, he's been in these types of matches, which you never saw when he was in Japan in these crazy matches. He did
stuff. In DDT wrestling, he did, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for correcting. So he did do some stuff I did not know. I apologize.
It's all good.
But not to the extent I feel like what we're seeing. I mean, you're talking about a barbed wire exploding death match. That's something that, and again, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Terry Funk is in the match. I forget the other guy he wrestled, the Japan wrestler that he wrestles. I think Onita. So. And Onita was in a couple of them. So he was basically he was the spokesperson, kind of the representative of that match. And you look at the whole thing in general, it's kind of interesting when you see how this match is going to go. I mean, it seriously seems like AEW is taking these old back in the day matches. You see it with the War Games match that they want to do with Blood and Guts. You're seeing it with the Death match. You're seeing different things. And it's really an interesting concept that they're taking older types of matches and bringing them here. And I think it's creative. It's different. Now, Moxley can handle this. Jon Moxley has done these matches over and over.
Oh, yeah. He's done it
something I'm not
so
worried
many
about.
times.
That's really what it comes down to. I'm excited to see how creative they get with this. I mean, because you have to remember, there's also the one that I posted is the Time Bomb match, which is included at. So I don't know if I want to tell this story quick. If you don't know this about Inodi, so Terry Funk in the match was knocked out, and what happens is when the timer goes off, the ring explodes. Not like the ring explodes, but like everything comes up and the ring kind of goes down. And Inodi saw that Terry Funk was not getting up, and Terry Funk was one of his trainers. So Inodi saw that as he was trying to get Funk out of the ring. He knew he wasn't going to make it in time. He actually covered his body over Terry Funk when the explosion went off so that nothing would happen to Terry Funk. So if you see how that is done at the end of the match and you see like the 4 barrels of explosions come up, and it's really an insane concept when you think about it. I mean, you're talking ECW-ish when you see something like this, which is interesting because ECW never even did something like this, which is crazy to think about, which is insane to think about. I mean, you would think New Jack would do something stupid like this, but because he's not even a wrestler, he's just a maniac. That's just what. And then we had that, the stuff with Sting. So we saw Brian Cage powerbomb Sting on the floor, and that concerned me a little bit when I saw that bump that he took. Because it's a guy who's 61 years old coming off spinal stenosis. Wish he was a little more gentle than he was.
Well, it came out that Tony Khan actually had Sting wearing padding, and the part of the ring that he got power bombed onto had padding under it.
Oh, good. Okay.
So he was safe. He wasn't going to be getting hurt, which I think is the right way to do it. From what I've heard, it was Sting's idea to do the power bomb. He wanted to take the bump.
I would imagine it was his idea.
So I was originally worried too, but they wanted to look that way.
They wanted it to look like he got hurt. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But I just thought
they did a good job.
Yeah, they did. They really did. And then you had, I know we talked about the Young Bucks Proud and Powerful match. Alex, I'll start with you first because I know Lyle has a lot to say on it with that match. Was it the right call?
I thought this was the right call to have Santana and Ortiz take on the Young Bucks in the match. I thought it was a smart tactic from AEW, and it was a great match. It was back and forth. The Young Bucks were able to match their moves with Santana and Ortiz, and it was perfect how they were executing these moves on each other. And it was a great matchup, and probably one of the best matches on AEW this week.
But was the decision the right call for the Young Bucks to win?
For the Young Bucks to win, I would say no, because really I wanted to see Santana and Ortiz walk away with the titles, because if you think about it, the Young Bucks have already held the titles for a long time. So I think it's time to kind of give somebody else the reins and give them a chance to run with it and see what direction they go.
Lyle, your thoughts?
I was very disappointed by what they did by not having Proud and Powerful win. I would have preferred to have the Good Brothers come out, cause a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
Proud and Powerful wins, and then you have Young Bucks versus Good Brothers at Revolution. And you have Proud and Powerful versus Jericho and MJF for the tag titles, and you continue the storyline of the Inner Circle imploding. I think both of those two matches have phenomenal storytelling and would have been very, very good to watch. I wish they would have done it. They did not. There are rumors that Chris Jericho wants to take time off. So the rumor is that they're going to be having Sammy Guevara come out and it's going to swerve and he's going to turn on Chris, not MJF, and then it's going to be MJF taking over the Inner Circle. I would prefer an Inner Circle implosion.
That's what I said. I think I said that last week. I said that there was reports that Jericho wants to take time off, which is why they'll do Jericho getting turned on and giving him some time off. I know he has stuff with Fozzy and everything like that also that he wants to do.
Also, speaking of Sammy Guevara, apparently he was supposed to go into Impact and doing what the rumor is that he's going to be doing what Taurus did in Impact, and he's going to be putting over Ace Austin. But that is... He didn't like that and didn't want to take the pin, so he chose to stay home. And he proposed to other ideas, but that's what the rumor is going on about that. I can't confirm, but I have no idea. I'm just going by what I see people reporting. But it's very interesting going on with what's going on with Sammy Guevara, because there are rumors that from Fightful that there was some bad blood between the two promotions for him not wanting to take the pinfall and not wanting to do the creative ideas. But, like, if you're Sammy Guevara, would you want to do that? I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to go to another company and make it look bad. Like, I don't blame him for wanting to do that. If that is actually what happened. It's all speculation. But
I mean, I think you have to look at it this way, though. At the same time, I agree with Lyle. If you're Sammy Guevara, you don't want to do that. But also at the same time, how much has Impact also given AEW so far?
Yeah, they have. With the Big Brothers, I've been thinking about that.
They've given them a lot, and I think it's only fair that Impact gets something. Because I feel like they're not getting
Kenny Omega on their program for a long time. That is huge.
Yes, I agree.
And Impact is different.
I think there could have been a way to make this work. There could have been a way to make this work.
I don't think the partnership is in jeopardy.
No, it's not.
It's not. They have different ways to tape their shows than AEW does. They tape their shows in giant chunks, which is why Kenny Omega was able to be on it, and why the Good Brothers are able to be on AEW every week. So I'm not really worried about it. But
Alex, what say you in regards to the whole thing with Sammy Guevara and Impact, and if it deteriorates the relationship? Because Lyle and I don't think it's going to.
I don't think it's going to either. I feel like with Sammy Guevara going over to Impact, it opens the door to more ideas, more possibilities for Impact to bring over their guys to AEW and have this partnership go on and see what they can do with it. Because if you do that and you keep working with, if AEW keeps working with Impact, there's many different things they can go do with that. They could have Orange Cassidy go over to AEW, go over to Impact, and take on somebody from the Impact roster like Ken Shamrock, for example.
Yeah, I mean, you could.
I don't want that. No.
Or
what's Shamrock? It looks like a drunk guy who doesn't want to leave the bar. After last call.
Hold on, Lyle. Let Alex finish. Let him finish.
Or you could just have him take on I forget what this guy's name. I've seen him perform so many times on Impact. I'm trying to remember, but he's one of the top guys on.
Must have not been that good.
No, he's one of the top guys on Impact right now.
I was busting a chops.
Is it easy?
Couldn't remember his name.
Is it Ethan Page?
Yeah, I would want to see him face Ethan Page. Orange Cassidy against Ethan Page.
What if you did Orange Cassidy versus Ethan Page as like the ninja?
I know. I think Ethan Page's contract was up and he left.
Or you have Cassidy.
If I remember correctly.
Cassidy take on Suicide.
I could do things like that. There's creativity.
That'd be interesting.
You could always do things like that. And then of course you heard the news about it.
What about Shark Boy? Oh, I want to see Orange Cassidy.
No, not Shark Boy.
Wait a second. You don't want to see Ken Shamrock versus Orange Cassidy, but you want to see Shark Boy versus Orange Cassidy.
It was a joke. I don't want to see Shark Boy at all. No. He can go away forever. But like,
why don't you do Curryman while you're at it? Why don't you have Curryman go up against Orange Cassidy while you're at it? Forget the ideas, Why don't you do that? So, and then of course you heard the news that even Okada could be with AEW and Impact soon. So we'll see how that goes going forward, which will be phenomenal. I think we'll see.
Please,
we're running out of time, so we do have to get into the story. Cody Rhodes made the statement that he doesn't see why WWE and AEW can't have a partnership together, and why he thinks it would work, it'd be successful. So, Lyle, I'll start with you on this one. Well, I mean, look, we all know it's not going to happen because WWE will never going to happen. But I understand what Cody is saying. He's right. Why can't all promotions just work together and make the business as strong as it's ever been? Mm-hmm. I get what he's trying to think about that. If you bring NXT and AEW together, oh my God! I mean, that would break barriers in regards.
It definitely
would. So wait, hold on. We're gonna talk about that for a second. You could then have Adam Cole do a storyline with Kenny Omega.
Enough
where
already.
Where he was killed. Because that is not the real Adam Cole. That is his evil twin brother pretending to be Adam Cole. Adam Cole is dead.
Yes,
you all know the fact that Adam Cole is not alive anymore.
Yes, Adam Cole died on BTE. We know the whole thing.
He is dead. Adam Cole is dead, okay, Josh?
Yeah, he's dead. Okay, sure. The merchandise doesn't say it, but he's dead, all right.
It's not Adam Cole. It's his evil twin brother. He changed his name, okay?
Yeah, what's his name? Aaron Cole? Because the shirt says Adam Cole.
It's Aaron. Okay? Then he changed his name legally to Adam, okay?
Lyle,
we all know.
Lyle, what are your thoughts with what Cody said? Do you agree or disagree with it?
I agree. I don't see a reason why they can't, but we all know it won't. I think Cody is only saying it because Triple H should say he has no problem working with a promotion if it can help the company. Okada said they wanted to work with WWE also. So I think he's going along with that. Their own talent said they wanted to do promotions, and I thought it was good for professional wrestling. I think it would be a great thing if they did it. It would open up a lot of possibilities. I think Cody knows though that it won't be able to happen, but he's doing the PR move and saying that he wanted to.
Alex, go for it, man.
I have the quote in front of me. He says there's no reason that there couldn't be a potential WWE crossover one day, and I don't mean that's a thing that's being discussed or happening, but none of those rules that exist for other places for us. Wrestling is really wrestling is really the universal industry. And he suggested that in order for both companies to work together, they would need genuine trust. And I agree with that. I think that trust needs to be built. They have to have a good connection with each other. And I think the way that would work was the way that would work is to have Vince McMahon sit down with Cody Rhodes and talk to each other and be open to ideas. Wednesday Night War or not, the main thing we have to do for fans is to the rest of the run is to keep. He wants to have the company around forever and keep it fresh. So I do agree with that.
I mean, look, you're seeing AEW, Impact, New Japan, and AAA and NWA all working together and collaborating together. And it's like, who's left out of who's left at the altar? And it's WWE. All these companies are working together to build this into a big brand. And WWE is just WWE is just to the point where they're so stubborn they don't want to work with anybody, period. And it's gotten ridiculous.
I think WWE is they're trying to protect the company. I think what happened with they had the partnership with ECW, but ECW wasn't on a cable program at the time. So it really didn't hurt them. And they never had a partnership with a major company before. If you look at with WCW, I think they became so afraid that it could hurt them and put them out of business when it looked like that for a while, over a year. I think it's more Vince is afraid. I think that's why they put NXT on Wednesdays also. But if you really think back about it, to go back to what Alex said when he said that Vince and Cody would have to talk, they have spoken before, recently since AEW became a thing, because remember, Cody spoke to him to get his name. He made the agreement to give up all those trademarks that he stole in order to get Cody Rhodes' trademark. So they have spoken, and I think they definitely can. It would be I don't think it'll happen anytime soon.
I agree.
I would love to see it, but
I agree. So let's get to our finishing move right now. Lyle, go for it first.
Oh, what is my finishing move?
Ooh.
Come back to me.
Okay, fine. Alex, go.
So my finishing move
This guy.
So my finishing move is actually Hogan's Hangout finally opened on Clearwater Beach after months of just renovation and being boarded up. Because every time I walked by it, it looks like they were still working on it. But now it's finally open. I'm very intrigued, very interested to see how it turned out. And they actually do live music there, and they're showing Elimination Chamber there tomorrow. So maybe I'll go over there and watch Elimination Chamber.
I forgot Elimination Chamber was tomorrow.
I think we all have.
Oh, man. All right, I'll do my finishing move. My finishing move is this. In regards to with the partnership and stuff with WWE, I think it's best for everybody's business to try to work together in this brand, because wrestling right now as a whole is doing very meh. And I think if you mesh everything together, it could go so far, and it could be a long way. And I think that's something WWE needs to consider, and they won't do it. It's unfortunate, but we'll see. Lyle?
I want to talk about something that has been bothering me since Dynamite.
It's a lot of things
happened
that
on
bother
Wednesday.
you.
It's many. It's a list of 1,004.
Oh, great!
If you catch the
It's
reference.
at the Chris Jericho list.
Yes, it is. Very good, Josh.
Thank you.
For some reason, there are a lot of WWE fans out there who will give every excuse for storylines that happen on their show to try and explain it and say why it makes sense. But then Kenny Omega is doing the storyline with Moxley, and the storyline for why they're doing this match that they're doing is that a regular match won't be enough for Kenny Omega to get rid of Jon Moxley. He doesn't think that would do the job. He wants to go the next step further and have this match to end him. That makes sense. That is something you could understand. And I think that it's not right, and that has to stop in professional wrestling, where you are giving excuses for the company you follow and then making criticism for other companies when you're contradicting and being a hypocrite. Now, WWE fans like to say a lot that, AEW fans are terrible, they are awful, but what is so bad about them? That they enjoy the product they watch? Because that's the biggest criticism I see, that they attack them because they enjoy the product.
Well, why can't everybody
WWE
just
fans,
enjoy everybody's shows? That's what I don't understand.
Exactly. WWE fans, they will attack every single wrestling product.
But
and make every single excuse for their own show.
Even if you don't like the product, you just don't watch it. Simple.
And what I can't stand about that type of fanboy is that it's terrible. I think it's a terrible thing for professional wrestling. And I think the horrible thing for professional wrestling is not AEW, it's not New Japan fans, it's not Ring of Honor fans, it's not NXT fans, it's WWE diehard fans that hate everything else. Because those are the ones that always cause the problems. They talk bad about everybody else, every other company. They are the reason why the other fan bases hate WWE. They need to learn how to actually be a fan before they can talk bad about other fan bases.
Exactly, 100%.
All right. Well, that's it for us today. Before we go, don't forget, this was our last Saturday show. We are officially moving Tuesday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. starting March the 2nd. So Saturdays are no more. Tuesdays are the new way to get a hold of us. Check us out on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. We're growing every day. Check out our app. Our app is free. Our articles, show schedules, different clips of the shows. You can re-listen to the shows if you missed it. Check it all out. All you have to do is, if you have an iPhone, just type in WWSRN. And if you have an Android, go to the Google Play Store and type in Worldwide Sports. Check us out on worldwidesportsradio.com. And don't forget our Twitter handles. They are below on the ticker that you can check all of us out on there. And Alex also created a website. What's the title for the website?
It's Off the Mat, WWSRN.com.
Beautiful. Off the Mat, WWSRN.com. You can check us out on there too. So much going on with the product. And don't forget, there's other kinds of shows you can watch and listen to on the network with all different sports and funny shows and comedy. Don't forget to check us out on 103.9 FM on LI News Radio. We're on from 7 to 9 p.m., myself and Errol Marks, unless the New York Islanders home games are on. Then we are on after the Islander home games, like tonight, for example. So we will be on later tonight, probably I would say around 10:15, 10:30. So check us out there. Great show as always.
They're not home tonight.
What happened?
They're not home.
Oh, well, Errol said they were home, so.
No, they're in Pittsburgh.
Oh, well, Errol said they were home, so take it up with him. All right. Thank you for the correction.
So it's going to be on at 7, right?
You're such a narp. You're really annoying. Why can't,
That's my job!
Your job will be Alex boot you off the StreamYard. So check us out for sure. Do it, Alex. He'll do it. If I told him to do it, he'll do it. Check us out again. Again, we go Tuesday night starting at 8 o'clock. No show next week. So again, for Lau Gillen, for Alex Lowe's, I'm Josh Silberg. Have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy Elimination Chamber tomorrow. And enjoy watching AEW and NXT and everything you watch. Take care, everybody. Have a good rest of your weekend. Bye-bye now.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.